Hey guys, hope you're all well. I'm so excited to be doing Square 7 because it's actually one with a Disney character on, and those are my favourite on the blanket. I'm sure that they're all your favourite as well, and why you picked to do the throw in the first place. But I can't wait to do this one. I was really worried when I first opened this issue because it said we needed to use the sunflower yarn again, and I really don't have much left after the last square that we did, number 6. It's this one here. So if you find that you've run out, if you go to your issue number 9, there is a new ball, as you can see, new, still got the wrapper on, with number 9, so you can just take that one out of there. And that's what I'm going to use when I do the Winnie the Pooh face for this one. Also, is it not really strange if you look at those photos? If you look at the picture in front of you now, what do you see? Because in my mind, I laid all those colours out and I thought, that's Mickey Mouse. And it is. Those are Mickey's colours. So why is it being used Winnie the Pooh? Makes no sense to me. But there we go. I think it would be really cool though to use those 4 colours to do a Mickey square eventually, but I don't think it's happening because I haven't seen one in the pictures that we've got so far. But never mind. Let's get on with it, I guess, rather than me yabbering on like I did last time. So this issue we've got 4 colours, and it is the bright red, which is yarn A, and then we've got yarn B, which is the sunflower, which is, like I said, the one we used for the last issue. I don't think we need very much because it's just for the applique of his face, so we shouldn't be using too much of that one this time. Yarn C is the white, and then yarn D is the black, which again we only need minimal amounts of. It looks like we're not changing colours in this square. It's all made in yarn A, the bright red, so we won't have loads of ends to weave in this time. Woohoo! I'll hold my hands up and admit I still haven't weaved my ends in from my last square because I really can't be bothered. I just hate doing it. But yeah, I'll catch up eventually. I'll do it eventually. It looks like this square is quite simple compared to ones that we've done recently. It looks like it is just like every row is exactly the same, just with added stitches. So I think this one might be a lot easier to do than the last one, which was quite complicated. So we're using the bright red. I'm going to make a slip knot, get my yarn on my hook, and let's get ready to go. Has anyone else noticed that this yarn, the brick red, has anyone else noticed that this yarn, A, the bright red, is really thin? I'm actually quite worried that this square isn't going to come up at the right size because it's so thin. Obviously we'll check it at the end, but fingers crossed because it doesn't feel like a DK compared to the others, but we shall see. So our first instruction, as always, is to begin off with some chains. So we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're then going to slip stitch into our first chain. So count back your 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going into this stitch at the end, in through this one, pull through a loop, and then pull through immediately onto the other side for your slip stitch. From here we are starting round 1, which is to do another 3 chains. 1, 2, and 3. That counts as our first treble stitch. We're then going to do another 2 proper trebles into the ring. So remember, if you grab your stitches from this side here and grab them on this side here, you can then pull them apart. For some reason it's not working this time. There we go. And we've got our hole in the centre here. Don't go into that hole at the top just by your knot, because that is your first chain you made. You don't want to go into there. You want to go into that hole in the middle, which is that one. Just there. Can you see that one? So to do a treble, we're yarning over, we're going in through the centre, pulling up a loop, yarning over, pulling through 2, and then through 2 again. And we'll do that once more. You can see that hole more now that we've done that stitch, because it's made it wider. So back in through 2 and 2. And there it looks like we've got 3 trebles, because those chains at the end make up what appears to be our first treble. From there, we're going to do 2 chains. 1, 2, and then another 3 trebles back into that centre ring. And remember, like as per the last video, try to incorporate your non-working yarn within that stitch so you're covering it up. So just hold it up close against the ring. So I've just yarned over, I'm going back in, and that non-working yarn is being covered up. Can you see there that my working yarn is underneath it? So it's just catching it there. So there's 2. And 3. And we need to do that 3 times. So we've done it once. Chain 2. And then another 3. Oh. Hold that one out of the way. So 1 treble, 2 treble, 3 treble, chain 2, and then another 3. 1, 2, 3. And where we've been going over that non-working yarn, you can see now it's coming out of our last stitch, and it is literally going all the way around under all of those stitches, and it's completely covered up, but we can still pull on it to tighten that centre circle. So now we've got to the end, you just need to chain 1 this time. I don't know why, because we've chained 2 in every other corner. But the book's saying to chain 1. Don't chain 1, chain 2 so that it matches up. Definitely chain 2. Because we've got 2 chains in every corner. Why would we only want 1 in this corner? That makes no sense. We're then joining with a double crochet into the 3rd chain. So if I can bring it into focus. It's really difficult. My camera focuses on what's in front, and obviously my fingers are in front, so it focuses on them. So counting these chains here, it's really difficult to see. We've got 1 stitch there, 1 here, and then our 3rd one is just here. It's difficult to see because we're using a darker yarn this time. So we're going in through this one, yarn over and pull through. We're not slip stitching, we're doing a double crochet, so don't pull that one all the way through. Yarn over again and pull it through, and you've done your first round. For round 2, we then need to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and then do another 1 treble into our corner space. So we're yarning over, and then we're going through this gap, so in through here and pulling up a loop, yarn over again, pull through 2 and pull through 2. We then need to do a treble into each of the next 3 stitches. So we're going into the top of this treble first. So there's 1 into your next V on top, for your second one, and then into your next V on the top of the next stitch for your third. Into the corner we are then doing 2 trebles, 2 chains, 2 trebles. One treble, two treble, chain 2, 1, 2, and then another 2 trebles. 1 and 2. We're then repeating the same thing all the way around. So we want to do another 3 into the top of these stitches. 1, 2, and 3, and then repeat the same in the corner of 2, 2, and 2. Two trebles, 2 chains, 1, 2 trebles. Just repeat that going all the way around, and I'll meet you at the end. So I've got to the last corner. We're doing 2 trebles into this space. 1 and 2. It still says to do 1 chain into the corner, but I'm going to go against it. I'm going to do 2 because all our other corners have 2 chains, so I feel this should have the same. And then we're going, just as before, to do a DC into the 3rd chain. So this is my 3rd chain. And there's round 2 done. I don't know if anyone else is finding it with this yarn. It's splitting really easy for me. I think it looks quite messy. I mean, can you see just down here? It might not be that apparent, but like, can you see there's like holes there? Like, it doesn't feel like the yarn is sticking together, and also it's covered in little tiny white hairs. That's all I keep doing, is just picking stuff out of it. Anyway, I'll stop moaning. Let's move on to round 3. So we're chaining 3. And then we are doing a treble into that corner space. So if you need to know where your corner space is, hold on to those 2 chains that you made in your last corner. Just pull it apart, because we're not going into here. We're going into this big space here. If I can, that is. Oh, why is it not working? There we go. Thank goodness. Right, there's that done. We're then copying the pattern, and this is where I said that this one looks quite simple, because it literally is a repeat, but there's just extra stitches every time. So it's just trebles going all the way around. So we should have ended up with 7 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're doing 7 trebles along, and then exactly the same in the corner of 2 trebles, 2 chains, 2 trebles. And is literally going to be like this all the way around until we get to round 6. I know that I'm not normally supposed to say the patterns in the videos, but I won't give away the pattern for the Winnie the Pooh applique that goes on the top. But it's impossible for me not to be able to give away this pattern because it's literally the same going all the way around. So I'll just do one row with you. So into our first stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then 2, 2, 2 in the corner again. So 2 trebles, 1, 2, 2 chains, and 2 trebles. So I'm all the way around to the end of that round, which is round 3. As with all of the other rounds, we're going to do another 2 trebles into the corner, chain 2, and then we're going to double crochet into the 3rd chain, which is this one here, just like that. And now more white hairs. So yes, there is 3 rounds done. So you've done half the square now. Round 4, round 5 and round 6 are exactly the same, so I don't think I need to film anymore and keep going through it because you already know what you're doing now. So just to describe it for the next one, chain 3, 1 treble into this corner space, treble in all the stitches along, and then 2 trebles, 2 chains, 2 trebles in every corner. There is 11 stitches going along on this one, just so you can count. If you have a look at your book, it will also tell you, and then I'm not revealing the pattern after all, it will also tell me how many you've got to do for round 5 and round 6. I'll meet you back at the end of round 6 just to fasten everything off and show you what the final result should look like. So good luck. I'm sure you'll be fine. You know you can do it, and we'll compare when we get to the end. So I've gone all the way around. I hope you managed to figure out what you were doing without the aid of the video for the last couple of rounds. And then we're just finishing it up like we did with the other rows, just doing 2 treble crochets into the corner space, one and 2, and then we need to chain 2, and then we're going to finish off like we did on the other rounds with a DC into the 3rd chain. So I'm just going to go in through here, pull that one through, and then I can cut my yarn now. Make sure to cut enough to weave in. And then we can pull that one all the way through, tighten it off, and then there's that square complete. It's a bit like wobbly, as you can see. It's not flat, but that's because obviously we've got heavy stitching in the diamond shapes and then gaps in the middle, so it is going to be likely to fold and bend in on itself. But once we have blocked this one, it should all stretch out and it should be just fine. So I guess for now we're going to move on to the applique of Winnie the Pooh. As per the other videos which have got additional details, I am going to make it into a second video, otherwise it might be too long to upload. So I'm going to go ahead and weave in my ends now. I'm sure that you can manage to do the same having seen the other videos, and I will catch you in the next part. See you shortly.